Hi everyone, it's Monday again. It's the Mindful Digitality Webcast. This is your host Ben Wong from Vancouver. And rather than doing another episode of Motivational Monday, I'd like to mix things up a bit today. Let's do a Myth Monday. Okay, I'm starting something new. Let's do Myth Monday. And today I'll start with one of the more common myths that I deal with every now and then. It's been a pretty regular thing for the last decade or so. The myth that we as people who use digital media, who use digital platforms, who engage in digital platforms, that we become better in controlling how we use it. Okay? Now, the assumption is that whatever we do more, whatever we go into repetition over and over and over again, we become better. Okay? If for example, if we're a tennis player, right? If we're a tennis player, if he wants to improve in playing their backhands, they just play 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 of them, and by reasonable assumption that they would be better, they would get better in playing the backhand. Okay, that's very understandable, and that's a fairly that's a common anticipation of what happens when something is done over and over and over again. Well, if you live by the assumption that the more you engage with video games, for example, the more you will become better at controlling your behavior, so maintaining that behavior within limits, within time limits, within content limits, well, you're in for a treat, and it's going to be an uphill battle. And this is the reason why. Digital media, by definition, as I mentioned in, I believe it was a couple of episodes before, they continue to evolve. They change over time. And in terms of the content and the gameplay and all of the dynamics that go into the newer products developed by tech corporations, they change. And the direction of change is in how they become better and better in engaging the user. I believe I had quite a bit of discussion some episodes ago. And one of the ways that tech corporations, developers, game developers, website content developers, what they have been doing, they've been using the most cutting edge of psychological science in their attempt to keep the user engaged, in their attempt to keep the users hooked, so that they spend longer periods of time in every sitting, so that they engage more, they give more immediate responses to the content or whatever material that they engage with. And there I can name a gazillion types of dynamics here, but one of the most common ones is known as the adverse impact effect. Okay, the adverse impact effect. Now, this dynamic describes a situation where if I, as a user on, say for example, the game Candy Crush, if I leave my game prematurely, if I leave the game before the game is designed to hold me, to that time period, I would lose points, status. I would lose certain resources. Okay, well, maybe Candy Crush is way too naive of a game. Think about other games. Think about MMORPGs, right? Games with a longer sort of a time frame in engaging their players, and they could be losing resources. They could be, if they prematurely quit a certain phase of the game or a certain campaign within the game without allowing the entire campaign to finish up, then I might be at risk of losing whatever resources, status, points these are undesirable results. Okay, these are undesirable results. So adverse impact effect alone already accounts for why players tend to spend more time than they anticipate to on games. Okay, and so that's a big myth. The more we do and engage in one particular digital activity, it does not mean that the better we are at in controlling them. In fact, research is demonstrating that people are struggling. They struggle to maintain control, which is what developers want in the first place. They want to engage players for, it could be a gazillion reasons, most prominently for profit, right? The longer one engages on a digital platform, the higher the likelihood that they would click on advertisements, for example, that they would make more in-game, in-app purchases, for example. Okay, so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. In order to maintain control, more engagement with what we would like to control ourselves against may not be the best strategy. And we'll talk about better strategies in dealing with with this issue in future episodes. If you're wondering what the background is, yes, this is YVR. This is Vancouver International Airport, one of the nicest airports in the world, I've been told. And it's a blessing that my family and I we live in Vancouver and get to fly out of here. And I am literally on my way to Los Angeles to attend a conference and to give a workshop there. I will keep everybody up to date, and so long until the next episode of my Digitality Webcast. My name is Benjamin and I'm from Vancouver. Like this video, subscribe to my channel to stay in touch, and I'll probably make something when I'm at the conference in Los Angeles, Anaheim. Okay, well, take good care, and I'll see everybody in the next video.